So today's video is geared towards those of you who are planning to do a lecture or a webinar online. This is for those of you who have large classroom sizes or large meetings with lots of people. It's designed to be for a live class. This means that the students are watching you while you're giving the lecture. It has the option to have your students turn on their webcams or not have their webcams. So it's a very flexible one. I really hope that by the end of this video, you'll be able to see the potential that tools like Zoom or any other online tools, you can see how you can be imaginative and creative when you're giving a lesson online. There's so many ways that you can plan a lesson, plan activities, and make sure that the experience is one that the students will not only remember and find useful, but also find fun and engaging. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to plan a lesson together. In order to do this, I've actually prepared a small document which you can download below the video, or you can look at it later. And the goal is for us to plan our lesson in stages, to understand what our aims and objectives are, and also to understand what tools we can use for each stage of the lesson. So the very first thing that I do before I plan my lesson is to look at my aims and objectives. To do this, I answer 3 simple questions. The first question I have to answer is, what is the goal of my lesson? What do I want my students or the participants to be able to do after the lesson? Do I want them to write an essay? Do I want them to be able to have a discussion or a debate in small groups? Do I want them to do a project or something like that? So that's question 1. Number 2, what information do I need to give them in order for them to be successful in their production? What do I have to teach them? The third question is a question about how can I determine if they have learned what they should learn? How can I make sure that they understood me? So if I answer these 3 questions, then I'm ready to plan my lesson. And as you can see in the document, the lesson I'm going to be using, or the lesson structure I will use today, is a very common structure, and I call it the PPP structure. So you start with your presentation, present. This is where you are delivering the information, right? The teaching. So the presentation stage is quite important. The next stage is the practice stage. This is answering the third question, actually, which is, how do I make sure that my students understood what I taught? Maybe I can do a quiz. Maybe I can get them to answer multiple choice questions. The last stage is called the production stage. And this is the whole goal, right? This is where they're either writing or speaking, discussing, they're doing a project. And this can be done inside of the classroom where I can monitor, or outside of the classroom as an independent project. So that's the meat of my lesson, and we're going to sandwich it with 2 extra steps. The first step is the warm-up, which is so important even in online lessons. And the last stage is feedback. I need to be able to give my students feedback, and I need them to give me feedback. That way I know what to do in my next lesson. All right, so we have our structure. Now what I will do is I will go through each step of my structure, and I will show you what I do on Zoom to make sure that it's a successful stage. I'll show you the different tools you can use, and maybe you can think of different ways to use these tools in your own lesson.